Hello everyone, this is Susan Grimes, the Social Media and Events Coordinator for the Classroom Project, and I'm so excited to read tonight's story to you. This time we will be reading the classic Sleeping Beauty. All right, so let's get started. Okay. Once upon a time in a faraway land, a king and queen lived in a grand castle. They were very content, but they longed for a child. So imagine how happy they were when the queen gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. "Let's have a party to celebrate," the king beamed. "Oh yes," agreed the queen. And it says, "You are invited to a party at the palace on the first day of spring to celebrate the birth of our baby girl. From the king and queen." The day of the party arrived. Tables were laden with delicious food, and there was music and dancing in the great hall. One by one, the guests placed their presents beside the princess's cradle. Last of all, the four good fairies presented their gifts in a shower of fairy dust. "You will be incredibly clever," said Whim. "You will be a wonderful dancer," said Whirl. "You will be a fabulous singer," said Whistle. But before Wisp, the fourth good fairy, could speak, there was a flash of lightning, followed by a wicked cackle. Ha ha ha! A hush fell over the great hall. It was Weedle, the wicked fairy. The king had forgotten to send her an invitation, and she was furious. She flew up to the cradle and waved her evil wand over the princess's head. "One day, here's my gift," and she shrieked. "One day the princess will prick her finger on a spindle and die." Then she disappeared in a puff of black smoke. Oh no. Everyone gasped. The queen sobbed, and the king shouted for the guards to burn every spinning wheel and spindle in the land. Then Wisp fluttered over. "I cannot break the spell," she said, "but I can change it. If the princess does prick her finger, she will not die. She will fall into a deep sleep and will one day be woken by the kiss of a true love." The years passed, and the princess grew up to be everything the good fairies had promised. Then one day the princess was exploring the castle when she came across a tower she had never seen before. She climbed the steep steps and entered a tiny room. There in the corner was a long forgotten spinning wheel. The princess had never seen anything like it. She brushed off the cobwebs and pricked her finger. Ouch! She instantly fell into a deep sleep. And that is how the king and queen found her. The good fairies tried to help, but there was nothing they could do to wake the princess. They laid her on a bed, and then the fairies cast a gentle spell over the whole castle. Everyone from the king to the cook's cat fell into a deep sleep. 100 years rolled by, and a giant hedge of thorns grew up around the castle. Many tried to cut their way through the thorns, but all failed. Then one day a handsome prince came riding by. When he saw the tower poking up from the forest of thorns, he became very curious. He drew out his sword to hack his way through, but somehow a path magically appeared before him. At last, the prince came to the castle. He walked past the snoring guards at the gate and stopped to admire the smart horses dozing in the stables. He almost tripped over the cook slumped beside her cooking pot, and he bowed before the king and queen sleeping on their thrones. Then, as if in a trance, he was drawn up the steps of the tower. See, everybody's sleeping. Zzz, zzz. As soon as the prince set eyes upon the princess, his heart leaped. He had never seen anyone so lovely. He bent down and kissed her gently on the lips. The princess opened her eyes and smiled. "I've had such a lovely sleep," she sighed. As she spoke the words, everyone in the castle woke up and went about their tasks as if nothing had happened. The guard stood to attention, the groom continued brushing the horses, and the cook stirred her cooking pot. The king and queen were delighted. Not only had the handsome prince broken the wicked spell, but he was in love with their beautiful daughter. "Excellent," bellowed the king. "Let's have a royal wedding." The prince and princess were soon married, and the king threw a fabulous party. Everyone was invited, except the wicked fairy. Luckily this time, the good fairies cast a spell to make sure she stayed away. After the wedding, the prince and princess rode off on the prince's fine horse and lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did. Until next time, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.